Hello. Last summer I did an exercise where I looked at different artists' ways of drawing trees. I didn't particularly like how I was drawing trees, and so I thought it'd be useful to take a look at how other people approach them. And I did this series of 12 little sketches. I really enjoyed the exercise. And I think the next day after I'd done this, I had a go at doing my own little tree studies. I was in France at the time, so these are all trees that were in my front or back garden there. So I felt like doing something similar again today, only this time with houses. I really admire how I see other artists approach houses in a kind of sketchbook style. So I thought I'd have a look through some other artists' work and do a series of little studies again. So I've masked down my little squares using washi tape, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I've grabbed a few materials. I'm not 100% sure what I'll be using, but I've got some Luminance and Holbein artist pencils mixed in together. I've got a couple of my paint sets. So this is my little Etchr Palette. And then I've got my standard travel palette. I might need other stuff as well, but I'll start with those. I'm not looking for anything really detailed. It is just kind of sketch style houses that I'm after that can be put down quickly and simply. I tend to overcomplicate things or get sucked into feeling the need to put too much detail in. So I'm going to try and avoid that today. To start off, I've grabbed a few little zines and leaflets. So I'll take a flick through those first of all. What I'll probably do is work on two boxes at the same time, so that while one layer is drying on one, I can be working on something else. I'm working in an A4 sized Talens art creation sketchbook. It's not watercolour paper, so it's not the most amazing outcome for watercolour, but it is quite a nice mixed media paper. At the end of the video, I show all of the original artists' names along with the finished little boxes. And I'll link to the artist's social media where I can find it down below in the description box. I'm just using the artist's work as a guide. Obviously, I'm not going to be using exactly the same materials or exactly the same colours, and I'm not as good an artist as them either. I'm just thinking that it will be really useful to be able to copy already simplified forms of buildings and be able to carry over some of that simplification into my own work. So that was the first 6 pictures, and I did go on to do 6 more. And this is my messy workspace by the time I'd finished. And here they all are now up close, along with the original artists' names. Please don't judge their artwork though, based on my replications. So I found this a really useful exercise. I found that people are using far fewer details than I'd be tempted to put in, and also using much greater license with the colours. I really like Melanie Chadwick's work, which is the first 2 pictures I did. She does a lot of drawing around Cornwall, and it's a landscape that I'm really familiar with, so it's great to see her interpretation of it. I really like Lucy Salmon and Cowan's work as well, which is the middle row on the left-hand side. It's interesting to see how they deal with more complicated urban scenes. I also really like Jane Askey's work, and have followed her for quite a while now. I really like the colour palettes she uses and the mixed media approach. Jessamy Hawke is someone else I've followed for quite a while now, and I absolutely love her style. It's just simple and clean and quite whimsical. The last 4 artists on the right hand side I hadn't come across before. I think one of my most favourite parts of this whole exercise was filling in the shadows of the John Harrison sketch. At first glance I'd have said that his painting was one of the more complicated ones, but actually this came together probably one of the quickest, and I just really like the clean lines and watercolour washes in it. And the final 3 pictures, I was just really drawn to them because of their really simple buildings, but also the lovely colours and playfulness of them. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this exercise. I thoroughly enjoyed sitting in the sun doing these. And going forward, it's not that I want to replicate other artists' work, but hopefully it's been a good lesson in simplification for me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this process and on the different styles of drawings, and perhaps it's an exercise you might find useful as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!